Hello, my name is Gabriel Martinez. I hope everyone is doing well. Today I'm going to be reading a book. It's called And Then the Seed Grew by Marianne Dubac. This is a, we're going to be reading this book for third grade. We really chose this book because number one is it's really a fun book. It has a good, I guess, conflict in it. And it also has to do with seeds and tomatoes. And so it definitely goes well with our teak that we're going to be doing. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading. And then the seed grew. Okay, let's go ahead and start reading. Once there was a garden. It was an ordinary garden filled with flowers, plants, where many creatures lived all year round. Some lived above ground like the gnome, Mr. Gnome, little Jack, and some lived underground like Yovine the mole, the field mouse family, Polly the earthworm, and Colette the ant. Everyone was quite content until one morning, out of the blue, something fell from the sky. At first, no one took notice except unhappy Jack, whose hat was crushed by the falling thing. The thing was a seed, and soon the seed began to grow. With a crick, the seed coat split open, and out popped a small root. Underground, Colette and her ant friends were annoyed. The root was blocking their path. If they were going to arrive home in time for tea, they would need to find a way around. Yovine noticed a small crack in her bathroom ceiling. No cause for worry, she thought. A few taps of my hammer should do the trick. But no sooner had fetched her toolbox than disaster struck. There was now a root poking out of a hole where the small crack had been. Yovine quickly sprang up into action to fix it. At the same time, Mr. Gnome noticed a new plant above ground. What's this growing in the garden? He wondered. He wanted to ask Colette, but she was too busy digging new tunnels around the plant's roots. As the days passed, the plant continued to grow. Yovine was growing more and more upset. She was on her third round of repairs. Things weren't much better in the field mouse house. No sooner had Susie made a wish and blown out her birthday candles than her party was ruined by the invaded roots. As for the ants, all the detours they had to take to go about their work in the garden left them exhausted. Night and day the plant grew. Yovine gave up on her renovations. The bathroom was a mess, and she was worn out. The field mouse house had been overrun. They had no choice but to move. All the neighbors lent a hand, even Polly, who usually kept to himself. Everyone was fed up, above ground and underground and above ground. The plant was wreaking havoc all through the garden. Yo, yo, sorry, Yonette, bathroom was permanently out of order. Mr. Gnome was trapped in his house. The ants were detour dizzy, and the poor field mouse had to move yet again. Something had to be done. The garden resident held an emergency meeting. My bathroom is unusable, complained Yovine. We can't get home, cried the ants. It's unbearable, exclaimed Mr. Gnome, who had finally managed to escape. They all agreed that the only thing to do was to cut the plant down. Everyone asked. Yovine, the expert tunnel digger, would excavate the roots. The tireless ants would eat the mulch and the leaves. The sharp-toothed mice would cut the stalk. Just as Mr. Fieldmouse prepared to take the first bite, someone called out, "Wait!" It was little Jack. This plant really so terrible? Jack asked gently. Hasn't its shade kept Mr. Gnome's house cool and comfortable? And wouldn't the field mouselings have a great time climbing its branches? From the highest leaves, the ants could easily map out the roots in the garden. And don't forget its fruit. Fruit? Everyone cried in surprise. Then looking up, they discovered tomatoes. Inspired by Jack's words, the garden residents decided to let the plant be. Soon they all learned to appreciate the many merits and were quite content once again. Yovine and the field mice were glad to be neighbors. Colette and the ant colony now had a vast network of tunnels and a handy lookout in the plant's highest leaves. And Polly, he made a friend. So the following spring, it was with great excitement that the garden inhabitants made another discovery: three new seeds. And that concludes the book. And so I hope you guys enjoyed that. This book is really great. There's a really good conflict to it. I feel like, they had to work together to find out a plan, and then they figured out all the benefits of the plan. So I just think it's a really great book. But we're going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you guys so much.